In the holiday edition for I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda, I have used ChatGPT to just have some fun. And I first read it, I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart dropped. I had goosebumps. I'm like, oh shit, I don't read the story. Like, oh my goodness, stop. Her voice dropping to a whisper, no more second chances. I'm suggesting we use the naughty list to our advantage. If anyone deserves to stay on it forever, it's him. Whoa. If we manipulate it, there could be consequences. It's intense. They need a reminder that joy isn't guaranteed, it's earned. Shit. I'm on his side though. I'm not gonna. Jack grinned. Just gave your invention a little Christmas spirit. Ah, what? Wild. What a story. Welcome back to another episode of I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda. I am Shaunda. Hey guys, hey. It's me. Oh man, it's the day after Christmas and I'm feeling good. I was very happy. I wanted to do a holiday edition of I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda. Something fun, something light. Also, if you're looking on YouTube and you're watching my hair, let me just say, I've been on a hair journey. I cut my hair like, oh, goodness, yeah. The beginning of 2023, I believe, and it was a journey, and now my hair is just, it's my hair. I'm learning to love her. It's so weird calling her, or hair, her. I'm not going to get into it. But learning to love my hair has been pretty interesting. I've been keeping it in braids and it being in a very protective style all the time, so now I'm just letting it free. So hope everybody likes it. Drop some love in the comments. Okay, so like I said about it being light today, in the holiday edition for I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda, I have used ChatGPT to just have some fun. I read the first story that I put out. I have not read the second one, so that's going to be a surprise for me and you. But I said, hello there. You know, you have to be nice. ChatGPT, you know, they're my friend. I'm learning to love them and trust them. So here I go. Hello there. Can you please give me a suspense/mystery story around the holidays where a present and a boy went missing? Okay. It's called, the title, The Missing Gift. It was cold, snowy Christmas Eve in the small town of Winter Hollow. The streets glowed with strings of colorful lights and families gathered in their warm homes, sharing laughter and holiday cheer. But at the edge of the town, at the old Sinclair estate, the air was thick with tension. 9-year-old Tommy Sinclair was missing. He had vanished earlier that evening while playing in the snow-covered backyard, leaving behind only a trail of small footprints leading toward the woods. His parents, Margaret and Henry Sinclair, had searched everywhere but found no sign of him. To make matters more unsettling, a particular gift Tommy had been eagerly awaiting, a bright red box wrapped with golden ribbons, had also disappeared from under the Christmas tree. The police were called and a search party was formed, but Winter Hollow was a town steeped in legends. Whispers of the shadow gifter circulated among the townsfolk, an eerie figure said to steal children and their most coveted gifts on Christmas Eve. Though dismissed as a myth, the story now felt too close for comfort. Detective Claire Vaughn, known for her sharp mind and steady nerves, took charge of the investigation. She arrived at the Sinclair estate just as the snowfall thickened, obscuring any remaining traces of Tommy's trail. Clues began to unfold. Claire first examined the Christmas tree, now missing the red gift. Margaret explained that Tommy had received an anonymous letter weeks earlier, promising him something magical for Christmas. The handwriting was elaborate and old-fashioned, but they had dismissed it as harmless prank. Searching Tommy's room, Claire found crumbled drafts of letters written in response to the mysterious sender. Dear Santa, one began, I can't wait for a special gift. I'll come to find you if I have to. Claire's heart sank. Had Tommy gone searching for this Santa? The forgotten path. The footprints in the snow led Claire and the search party toward the dense woods, where legend claimed an abandoned toy workshop once stood. Few dared venture there. It was said to be cursed after its owner vanished decades ago. Hours later, Clara spotted something glimmering in the moonlight, a piece of gold ribbon snagged on a low branch. Following it, the group stumbled upon a clearing. In its center stood a small, decrepit cabin, its windows glowing faintly. Inside, Claire found Tommy clutching the red box tightly. He was unharmed but dazed, as if waking from a dream. When Claire asked him what had happened, he whispered he wanted to give me the gift himself. The boy handed Claire the box, who felt unusually cold. Inside was an intricate snow globe, but when Claire shook it, the swirling snow formed a chilling image, a man in a shadow standing in the same clearing. The mystery deepens. The Sinclair family was reunited, but questions lingered. Who had sent the gift? And what did Tommy mean when he said, "He told me he'd come back next Christmas to see if I liked it"? As the town celebrated Christmas morning, Clara locked the red box in evidence. But late that night, as she reviewed her notes, she heard a soft, melodic chime from inside the snow globe. When she looked closer, her reflection in the glass was replaced by the shadowy figure, its eyes gleaming gold. Winter Hollow would never be the same. Okay, that one was the first one. I was like, okay, cool. I'm telling y'all, when I first read it, first read it, I was just playing around with ChatGPT, and I first read it, I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart dropped. I had goosebumps. I'm like, oh shit, I will read the story. Like, oh my goodness, stop. Which made me want to go into more. This is what I'm gonna read. I'm not gonna give the description. Okay, a Claus conspiracy. The North Pole was bustling with activity on Christmas Eve. Elves dashed about, finishing last-minute preparations while the reindeer were harnessed to the sleigh, ready to take flight. Inside their cozy home, Santa and Miss Claus sat by a crackling fire, their faces unusually serious. A steaming cup of cocoa sat untouched on the table between them. "We can't let him ruin another Christmas, Nicholas," Miss Claus said, her tone sharp. She rarely called Santa by his first name unless things were dire. "Every year he edges closer to disrupting everything we built." Santa stroked his beard thoughtfully, his eyes shadowed with concern. "I know, dear, but the Grinch isn't just some petty troublemaker. He's clever, resourceful, and he knows the mountains better than anyone." Miss Claus leaned forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Then it's time we stopped him, for good. No more stealing Christmas trees and terrorizing Whoville. No more second chances." Santa's hand paused mid-stroke, his eyes widened slightly. "Are you suggesting?" "I'm suggesting we use the naughty list to our advantage," she interrupted. "We've always said it's more than a list. It's a powerful tool. If anyone deserves to stay on it forever, it's him." Whoa. Whoa. A plan unfolds. Santa leaned back in his chair, the fire of light reflecting off his round glasses. "You know, I've always believed in redemption, Clara," he said, his voice heavy. "Even the Grinch changed once. He grew a heart, remember?" Miss Claus scoffed. "And what did that get us? A brief reprieve? He's back to his old tricks, lurking in the shadows, plotting who knows what. If he sabotages this Christmas, it's not just us who suffer. It's the children." Santa sighed, pulling out a thick leather-bound book, the official naughty list. He flipped through the pages until he found the Grinch's name, scrawled in large, jagged letters. "It's not as simple as crossing him off," Santa said. "The list is bound by magic. If we manipulate it, there could be consequences." Miss Claus stood, her eyes fierce. "Then we must outsmart him another way. Perhaps it's time to send someone into his lair, a spy." Santa looked up sharply. "That's dangerous, Clara. The Grinch may be reclusive, but he's no fool. If he catches wind of this, which is why it must be someone he never suspect," she said, cutting him off. "Someone with nothing to lose. What about an elf? Or even," she hesitated, then finished in a low voice, "one of the reindeer." Ooh. An unlikely ally. The conversation was interrupted by a knock at the door. Santa frowned. No one disturbed them on Christmas Eve. Miss Claus opened the door to reveal a figure wrapped in a dark cloak, their face obscured. The visitor stepped inside, pulling back the hood to reveal no other than Jack Frost. I couldn't help overhearing, Jack said, his icy blue eyes glinting. You're having Grinch troubles again, aren't you? Santa bristled. Jack Frost was an unpredictable ally, his motives as slippery as ice. This is a private matter, Jack. Jack smirked. Come on, Nicholas. We don't know the Grinch is more than just a nuisance. He's meddling with forces that could unravel Christmas itself. Let me help. Miss Claus eyed him warily. And what's in it for you? Let's just say I have my own reasons for keeping the holidays intact, Jack said smoothly. I can get into places your elves and reindeer can't, and I know the Grinch better than you think. The final decision. This is intense. Okay. Santa and Miss Claus exchanged a long, silent look. The risk was high, but so were the stakes. Finally, Santa nodded. Very well, Jack, but no games. If you betray us. Jack held up a hand and Frosty grinned widening. Relax, old man. I want this to end as much as you do. As Jack Frost disappeared into the night, Miss Claus turned to Santa. Do you trust him? No, Santa admitted. But if anyone can match wits with the Grinch, it's Jack Frost. Outside, the northern light shimmered, casting an eerie glow over the snow-covered landscape. Somewhere in the mountains, the Grinch was waiting. At this time, the stakes were higher than ever. ChatGPT is so great. It is so bomb that it asks me, would you like to expand this story or explore the Grinch's perspective? I said yes. Expanding the story we shall, the Grinch's perspective. High atop Mount Crumpet, the Grinch stood at the edges of his cave, gazing down at the twinkling lights of Whoville. The laughter and caroling drifting faintly up the mountains, filling the crisp air with joy, a sound he once loathed, but now found complicated. His faithful dog Max lay at his feet, tail waggling lazily, oblivious to the turmoil in his master's mind. They'll never see it coming, Max. It's so weird. I have to pause here. It's so weird because who and Ken, seeing the Grinches that are out there who impersonate Jim Carrey, the Grinch, like, it's so good. Like, they get I want to say everything down to a T. Everybody knows that Grinch that I'm talking about, but he's like really good at his job and getting into character. But like playing Jim Carrey, like not just the character, but the voice, everything in it is just so good. Because you can be one way or the other, right? You know, good or bad is the impersonators that I get who played the Grinch. But with Jim Carrey, hit you right in the middle, bro. That's why he's conflicted right now. All that to say, I don't know how to break down Jim Carrey's voice of the Grinch, so I hope it's cool. I'm just reading it. They'll never see it coming, Max, the Grinch muttered, his yellow eyes narrowing. They think I'm the same old Grinch, stealing trees and presents like a cheap magician. But this year, I'm playing the long game. He turned and walked deeper into the cave, where strange contraptions hummed and wired. Piles of scrap, metal, and glittering holiday debris were strewn across the floor, forming what looked like a makeshift workshop. At the center was a large machine, its purpose unclear but ominous. This time, I'm not just taking Christmas from Whoville, the Grinch said, a twisted grin spreading across his face. I'm taking it from everyone. A mysterious machine. The Grinch's plan had been in motion for months. While the Who's sang their songs and Santa polished his sleigh, the Grinch had been building his masterpiece, the joy extractor. The machine was designed to drain the joy from Christmas itself, leaving behind nothing but apathy and despair. Without joy, gifts would feel hollow, carols would ring flat, and even Santa's magic might falter. Max barked, his ears perking up. The Grinch turned to see the dog pawing at the snow globe on a nearby shelf. Inside was a miniature scene of the North Pole, complete with Santa, Miss Claus, and the reindeer. "Oh, Max, don't be so sentimental," the Grinch chided, though his gaze lingered on the snow globe. "This isn't about them. It's about balance. For too long, the scales have tipped in their favor. They need a reminder that joy isn't guaranteed. It's earned." Shit. I'm on his side, though. I'm not gonna lie. The spy arrives. Unbeknownst to the Grinch, Jack Frost was already on his trail. Cloaked in the icy mist, Jack slipped through the mountains, his movement silent and swift. As he neared the cave, he paused to observe the Grinch tinkering with his machine. "Interesting," Jack whispered, a mischievous smile playing on his lips. "He's aiming bigger this time." Jack crept closer, his frost-covered boots leaving faint marks in the snow. He knew he couldn't confront the Grinch outright. The creature was too unpredictable, too driven. Instead, Jack planned to sow just enough chaos to tip the scales back in Santa's favor. Inside the cave, Max's ears twitched. The dog let out a low growl, alerting the Grinch. "What is it, boy?" the Grinch asked, turning toward the cave entrance. Jack froze in place, his icy breath barely audible. The Grinch scanned the shadows, his eyes narrowing. "I smell something peculiar," he muttered. "But no matter. Once this machine is finished, nothing will stop me." What? Okay. A frosty sabotage. Later that night, while the Grinch slept, Jack slipped into the cave. He studied the joy extractor, his eyes gleaming with curiosity and amusement. "A clever contraption," he murmured, running a frosty finger along its surface, "but not clever enough." With a wave of his hand, Jack encased part of the machine in ice, subtly alerting its mechanism. The changes wouldn't stop it from working entirely, but they would redirect its effects, channeling the extracted joy back to Santa's workshop instead of destroying it. As Jack turned to leave, Max barked, startling him. The Grinch bolted upright, his eyes blazing with suspicion. "Who's there?" he bellowed, grabbing a wrench. Jack smirked, stepping out of the shadows. "Just an old friend, Grinchy." The Grinch's eyes widened in recognition. "Frost, I should have known. Always meddling where you don't belong." Jack shrugged. "It's what I do. But you crossed the line, old boy. Joy isn't something you can bottle up and destroy." Woo! The final confrontation. The two squared off, their powers clashing in the frigid cave. The Grinch swung his wrench, while Jack countered with icy guts that froze the air. Max barked frantically, darting between them. In the chaos, the joy extractor roared to life. Lights flickered, and a strange, swirling vortex appeared at its center, pulling in the ambient cheer from Whoville below. But instead of fading, the joy intensified. The vortex grew brighter, its light spilling out into the cave. The Grinch shielded his eyes, realizing too late that his machine has been tampered with. "What have you done?" he shouted, his voice laced with both anger and despair. Jack grinned. "Just gave your invention a little Christmas spirit." What? Okay, a changed Grinch. As the vortex reached its peak, a wave of warmth and light washed over the Grinch. Memories flooded his mind of Cindy Lou Who, of the Who's forgiveness, and of the fleeting happiness he felt when his heart grew 3 sizes that day. The machine spluttered and died, its energy spent. The Grinch sank to his knees, his chest heaving. Max licked his face, wagging his tail. Jack knelt beside him, his expression softer now. "It's not too late, you know. Christmas doesn't have to be your enemy." The Grinch looked up, his yellow eyes glistening. Maybe I've been going about this all wrong." Back at the North Pole, Santa and Miss Claus watched the scene unfold through the enchanted snow globe, their faces glowing with relief. "Do you think he's truly changed this time?" Miss Claus asked. Santa smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Well, see, my dear, Christmas has a way of surprising us all." And for the first time in years, the Grinch sat beside Max, staring out at the lights of Whoville, not with envy, but with a flicker of hope. Cute! cute. ChatGPT definitely did that. Wild. What a story. This is a great story time. I just really felt like, I'm not going to lie to you, I've, being around family has been nice, but there has been like just some downness of like it still being like lonely. I come home and it's like, oh, cool, it's just been, up and down, it's the time that happens, whatever. But I came home today and I'm like, I wonder what I'm going to record about. And I just didn't know to put my finger on it. And I was just like, oh, and I was in the car on my way home and I'm like, gosh, the story. ChatGPT, playing around with it, and boom, this is where I was. I'm telling you, I'm just so happy that I did it. It was really cool, the aftermath of the holidays and somewhat celebrating this time. So it's nice. I'm really happy that I did do this. If you like more of this, you should definitely let me know in the comments, DM, share a story with me, and, playing around with ChatGPT. I would love to read that. So definitely do that. Yeah. Come up with it. Email me at imjustsharingpod@gmail.com. But thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope that you guys definitely give a comment on my hair, give a comment on this, like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. That was an all over the place goodbye, but that's okay because there will always be next time. Bye.